Welcome to this week's Shifting Realities podcast with myself, Julie, and my co-host, Rob. We're recording this ready to go out on the 1st of January 2025, and this is what we're going to talk about this week. We're not going to talk about all the predictions that might occur in 2025, but definitely Rob and I have been looking at what might happen for this new year, for what's going to go on in 2025, and we're looking at helping you really step into your self-mastery, step into your neutrality. We have been doing a challenge in this series to help you work into heart space, to just remove, almost like get rid of all this, all the old person in you in the nicest way, to step into the new person that you want to be. That's a beautiful, strong, determined person in what you want to do, and to be able to fulfill all your desires and really fulfill your purpose on this earth at this time. Now, there's what I feel is there's never been a better time to be that neutral person, the one that's strong and owning your own power, then there's going to be in 2025. It makes it a year of the snake. Remember how we said that we're going to we've said before about the snake shedding its skin and not being worried about shedding that old identity of it. It can have some knocks along the way, but it just says bye to it and moves forward. So we do think, if you want a prediction, this is not quite a prediction, but we it is a year where we do feel there's going to be a lot more chaos, and there's a lot of things that are ready to go and collapse as such. And what I mean is the energy will collapse into something greater. But remember, in order to do that, there has to be that chaos first. So for us as light workers, star seeds, and just healers in general, whether that's healers of ourselves, those of us that really do want to make a difference, even if it's just to us and our families, we have to be self-mastering. We have to be those ones that are the neutral person, the person who then ripples that neutrality across to everyone else, whether it's in your own family. Remember, when we see chaos, and we see that, that we will be seeing in 2025 more people suffering and struggling, if that's what our world shows to us. We've talked about that before. You will see everything based on your past experiences, based on your belief system, based on your behaviors. But it's a bit like an IT algorithm, like a Facebook algorithm or something, that it'll give you. You will see what you're given. But this is about really coming back in a second and just allowing it all to manifest in the way that it needs to be. But right now and into 2025, this is more where we need to be part of the community, but part of the collective, to help each other, be those beacons of light. The light workers are the beacons of light helping the earth right now. Rob, you mentioned about, I love this, you mentioned about, where people go on be prepared for, have
Yeah,
emergency supplies and things like that. But this is about, being spiritually
yeah,
prepared, isn't it?
yeah. It's the same thing. Firstly, let me just concur with you, and I don't deal in prediction at
Mm,
all. I don't
mm.
want to deal in prediction, but I do see real turmoil on the earth in
Yes,
2025,
yes.
and we'll all be affected by it, even if it's not direct. It will somehow economically, however, it will feed into all of us. So we're all going to experience difficulties this year.
Yeah.
But we're all capable of surviving difficulties, and we all need difficulties to push us through. So that survival kit. How many listeners, I wonder, have got? I don't. Perhaps I should have bottled water, some bandages, some basic medications, can of petrol, whatever it takes to have in your basement or in the boot of your car in case something
Mm,
happens.
mm.
It's a common thing, isn't it? The minute anything threatens or a conspiracy theory goes out there, everybody starts hoarding tinned food
Yes.
and so on.
Yes.
And I usually smile, but spiritually, that's kind of what we have to do.
Yes.
We need to be prepared and we need to look to self-preservation. Because if we don't look at self-preservation or self-mastery, however you want to phrase that, we stand to not do our role or not
Mm.
perform our role.
Mm.
And that if we are prepared spiritually and we're in the right place and we understand why things are happening, we can anchor those around us. Not everybody is at this point of ascension. Luckily,
Yeah.
many people are way ahead of us.
Mm.
Equally, a lot of people are nowhere near this. So, as a part of your family unit alone, say, you might be the only person doing this work. There might be 6 people in your immediate family who don't get it. So you need to be the one who is clear, sentient, in touch, and able to call the shots when shots need to be called. To be that anchor for your family so that there is a calm and peaceful center, a center of love that doesn't fall apart when things get hard. So just as much as you would put those bottles of water in your basement, you've got to be prepared spiritually with the kit.
Mm.
And we
Mm.
provided that kit through the course of these. Now we're on, I think, the 10th episode. So we've provided you
Brilliant.
with all sorts of resources and knowledge. So please go back and do the exercises if you haven't done them. Make up your own exercises, however you want to do. But get into your heart space, understand what the truth is, understand what your truth is, and don't please think when you do this you're being selfish.
That's the
Yeah,
key, isn't it? People say it's being
absolutely.
selfish just to think of yourself and not to think of the suffering. But we've
Exactly,
said
Julie.
so many
Yeah.
times, haven't we,
It's
about the suffering is if you consume yourself with that, that's what
mhm,
you're actually increasing the resonance field of the suffering. You're actually
absolutely.
going the opposite way.
Yeah. And you're working on yourself. Yes, of course, you're working on yourself for yourself because you are the individual who is ascending. So you must do the work.
Mm,
But as I was saying earlier, you are also the rock of those around you.
mm, mm,
So as we have planets that orbit the sun, you are the sun, and there are planets orbiting you that need to be kept in orbit. And you need to do the work for yourself in order to share it out. So there is nothing selfish in that at all. It is preservation. And I don't want, when I say the word preservation, for people to be scared. 2025 is going to be a perfectly manageable year.
yeah,
There is just going to be a lot going down
yeah,
politically, economically, uh, any way you want to call it. There are going to be problems and difficulties, but there are also going to be moments of immense joy
yeah.
and terrific
Mm,
things are going to happen, and problems that we thought would never resolve will resolve. The wars will end. They do.
mm,
So it's not all doom and gloom. It's just knowing that the energy is going to be uncomfortable. And that is because we're tipping into the new energy. The Earth as a planet is already there. We're trying to catch up now,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
why you see the dinosaurs roaming the Earth and trying to keep us back in the old way of thinking because it makes money.
Hmm.
Economically, it's a great place to be because you can make people pay you for things. Whereas in the new world that we're all heading to, none of that matters. That will all cease to
Mm,
be an issue.
mm.
So this is the great tipping point. Hippie school, we're going from the age into the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
Yeah, there isn't a date or a button you press to arrive at the age of Aquarius. It's not, oh, it's 9th of February, must be the age of Aquarius. It's a couple of 100 years transition. And we're at the latter end of that now. We're
Mm,
moving from a masculine era to a feminine era, divine masculine to divine feminine. And we need to roll with it and accept it and understand that divine feminine is this extraordinary, glorious everythingness that we want.
yes.
It's
Mm.
not asking you to be feminine or to be in touch with your woman or we
Nothing
we
to do with that.
see
Mm.
all sorts of things happening. We see women coming into great positions of power. We see women really finding personal strength, finding their own truth and standing up for it.
Yeah.
And all
Mm.
sorts of movements happen around that upsets people who are still walking with the dinosaurs.
Hmm.
So it is. I'm not going to say the word woke. I just said it. There you go. The world is changing. We have to change with it. And you can't change with it if you're not spiritually prepared.
Mm.
I'll shut up now.
No, it's fine. I
Right.
mean, this is what we talked about before about holding your frequency and that you might wobble, and there's going to be no other time more,
Yeah.
peripheral than this, then holding holding your frequency, holding your stuff, holding
Yeah.
your power in your power, then now, because it'd be so easy to go back to the old state, to worry about things, to be anxious about what's going on, to be in fear. Remember what we've said about being in fear. It basically, don't be in fear all this time. That's going to be very difficult for a lot of people. And there's going to be wobbles. Of course there is. Everybody's human. So we're not saying you're going to be
Mm.
like a robot neutral all the time. That is not, if you listen, really listen between the lines to what neutrality is. Neutrality is just hearing everything, listening to everything, but also having that all knowing that everything is okay. We all have a version of each and every one of us living on a planet that's that's beautiful. It might still be. It's not that we're all going to think the same and have the same beliefs. That's not what we're talking about. But it won't have all this chaos, the disasters, because that is what we're shedding and what we're wanting to leave behind. But so just remember, the more we keep in the neutral place, master ourselves. As Rob said, self-preservation in a good way, make that a good, sort of a good word rather than from fear. That is just all we're asking for, all you need to do. Just observe, just be that neutral observer, just observe the world. The sooner you know that it's happening for a reason, it's happening so that it drops away, is the sooner that you end up, that we all, that all as a collective will end up all being in a world that, we want to, a world that we can, really fulfill our purpose and feel fulfilled in whatever way that is. And we're going to have it in different ways. Some people, they're fulfilled by being doctors. Some people are fulfilled by being in other services to other people in many, many ways. And that's absolutely okay. We're all meant to be different. We're on this earth for the uniqueness that we are in every way. But we're not here. We should never have been here to be in fear of everything, because that's when we can't fulfill our true purpose, our true sovereignty. So it is just about being, literally being all doing all, we've called it work, but literally when you come to heart space, when you understand that the internal power that you have, that everything on the outside comes from being, what you're feeling internally, your belief system, what's gone on in the past will have an influence, and we have to forget what's going on in the past, but we just have to hold the space for the future and make the future brighter, as they say,
Hmm.
make the future more bright, and it still be nice and diverse, and we'll still might have arguments over things and discourse, but that's absolutely fine. That is part of being human and part of being wanting to, striving to, feel more about who we are. Both as human, but remember Rob and I would always talk about being beyond human, and if we live in the 3D fear of what we're seeing on the outside, we can't always come beyond that human, that humanness. So really, this week is a short, is a short, nice and short video, and this is all we want you to do. The challenge for this week is simply, once again, to be in neutrality of what's going to be, of what's going to unfold, allow it to unfold in 2025, a whole new frequency, because it's a whole new number. Form will drop into place in the form of matter in different ways, and just keep looking at the outside world, knowing that this chaos has to happen in order to drop away. I'm just going to say a little tiny bit about, even if you feel in personal, in your personal space, you might have a detox again, and that's
Mm.
simply because you're dropping the old away. Physical detox is the most beautiful thing. The sooner you embrace something like that, it might feel like a cold or anything, sooner you embrace that and know that it's okay. I know myself, knowing that it's a detox and everything's okay, it makes things, it makes the process of having that detox a lot quicker than consuming yourself in the detox and not knowing why it's happened and going in the loop of what's wrong with me and why, what can I do? And you might get many detoxes because you're still not completely just shedding everything away, all the things we've said about before. So it might even become as a physical thing, but mostly you'll see it. We're, in the next series, Rob and I are going to talk more about the collective and what's going
Mm.
on in the collective and how we can navigate our way on Earth right now. How every one of us has a purpose. What might feel big or small, but literally a purpose to serve humanity and how we fit in with humanity. And that's the way we're going to completely help everyone to
Mm.
move into the newer frequencies with ease and grace. It might not feel like ease and grace at the moment,
Mm.
but the sooner we embrace it, it will. So that's your
Yeah,
challenge. Just know that these things are going to happen, but also be that neutral observer, be that strength for your family and for those around you. Find the tribes that will help you give strength and give and be in your own power if you've not found them. That couldn't be any more true in 2025 than now.
indeed. And when you do this work, you are never alone. It can feel
Yeah.
quite lonely sometimes because you can sit there going, oh, I'm just doing this by myself. I wish more people were doing it with me.
Mm.
Millions of people are doing it with you. You may not
Yes, you
know
just
them,
don't know it. Mm.
but the more you raise your consciousness, the more your tribe will find you, or you
Mm.
will find your tribe, however it works. So just
Mm.
keep the work, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, and know that in this big, tumultuous year coming ahead, it's a 9 year. That's
Mm.
interesting, numerologically speaking. Nine is the end of the cycle. But
Yes,
things have to
exactly.
end up this
Mm.
year. Things have to wind up.
Yes.
And then we start
And
again with
start a
one.
beginning, new beginnings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
New beginnings. So make your new beginning start. Get the process
Mm.
going if you haven't already. It's
Mm.
it's easy to do, it's graceful to do, and the reward is
Mm.
beyond
Mm.
mention. It's just incredible.
Yeah, if you accept it, let
Yeah,
go of the old,
yeah,
accept this, accept the reward. Mm.
yeah. And you'll get
Mm.
through.
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
will.
you'll
Yeah,
sail through.
we'll get through.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
I think that's
Lovely.
us then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so basically have a happy new year on that note.
indeed. Yeah,
And just remember, yeah, you can make that decision, have a happy new year, or make the decision to be in fear. Which is it to
yeah.
be? You get that challenge. We'll challenge you. Okay, bye for this week. See you next
Take care all.
week.